In our story from Acts today, we continue taking a look at that early church, and we've got Paul and the others who have been traveling around and talking about Jesus. And in our story that you heard Marlene read, they called the region Philippi, which is around the region of modern-day Turkey. And in our other Bible story, you can take a look at the map here, they went to the city of Thyatira, which you got to kind of look up there and you can see where Italy is and where Greece is. And over there is where modern day Turkey is. And you can see Thyatira and Lydia. That's the region we're talking about. Do you see it up there? Point to it if you see where we're looking. There we go. Okay, good. You got it. Perfect. So we don't know a whole bunch about Lydia. We know her name, which, as I said to the kids, was a big deal because in Bible days, if you were a woman, you often were a nobody, and to be named in our Bible as a woman is a huge deal. And we know about where she was living in that region, and we know that she deals with purple cloth. Now, to us, that doesn't make that much of a difference. Lots of us wear purple on the regular. But in Bible days, purple cloth was a big deal. It was reserved for royalty, and it was hugely expensive. So the fact that she was someone who worked with purple cloth likely meant that she and or her family had some amount of wealth. Now, you heard a little bit about the color purple as Marlene was reading our story. But it's not quite as easy as when we get to tie-dye and you grab your white t-shirt and you make a pattern and you put a rubber band around it and you find the color and you just sort of squirt it on or you dip it in. Making purple was a big deal and it was hard work. Take a look. How about that? I learned something. Maybe you did too. Maybe you knew all that about the color purple. But as we think about it, I was just amazed that anybody figured this out, right? That they somehow figured out to take these sea snails. Well, they got them out of the sea in the first place. Then they figured out to take them and to poke at them and to somehow get the color purple. But all of that to say, having this job and being able to deal in the color purple would have made Lydia wealthy and important because she did the gross task of making the purple cloth. Now, Lydia was someone in our Bible who was important. And each of us is important too. Now, I'm guessing, though, that what makes you important is not that you make purple cloth. Maybe? Maybe you do, I don't know. But each of us is important for any number of reasons, and something that makes us unique. So I invite you to turn to someone nearby you. If you don't know their name, ask them their name. But then identify something about you that makes you important or unique. If you are sitting next to someone you know very, very well, try to find something that they don't already know about you. That's your challenge. Okay, go. Okay. I know y'all are very important and you can talk for a really long time about how important you are. And it probably doesn't have anything to do with the color purple. But each of us, like Lydia, is important. And it wasn't just the color purple that made Lydia important in our Bible times. She was important because of what happened at the river that day as well. She listened to Paul. She decided to follow Jesus, and she was baptized in the river. And what the story version that Marlene read for us didn't say is that she went on and told the story of Jesus to everyone in her household, her entire extended family, the servants that lived with her, and invited them all to be baptized as well. So that baptism that took place in the river that day, maybe she was gathering up snails or something, we don't even know, was one of those turning points for Lydia's life that led her to baptism. I want you to take a moment and talk to that same friend again and tell them something about your baptism. Okay, go ahead. Or a baptism you've been to. How about that? There you go. Okay. Now that we've recounted times that many of us probably don't even remember, we can know from the story of Lydia that it's little things that make us important. It's small moments, chance encounters with God, be it our baptism or some other event, that change our lives. So no matter how wealthy we might be, how much purple cloth we have or don't have, what we do for a living, you are important. You. Each and every one of you. And whether you eat snails or appreciate snails or squash snails, though don't try that at home, children. Did you hear me? Okay. God can change you with a chance encounter, regardless of anything else. We are important, and God can change us. This story about Lydia seems to be just a simple story about a woman hanging out at a river who sells purple cloth. But it reminds us that we are important. And it reminds us that we are loved. And it reminds us that we are changed when we encounter our God. Thanks be to God. Amen.